Okay, so hi everyone. I'm here to discuss Chapter 4, the nation state in comparative politics. So we go first to the definition of a nation state. A nation state is a system of organization in which people with a common identity live inside a country with firm borders and a single government. So dito sinabi na people with common identity. They bind together. They live inside a country with firm borders and they form a single government. And then, yung single government na yun, nagkaroon ng different organizations, nagkaroon ng system. So, yung sa una, system of organization. So, yung, kumbaga, nagsimula ang nation state sa pag-unite o pagkakaisa ng mga tao with a common identity. Pag sinabi daw nation state, iba yung konsepto na yun sa konsepto ng state at iba rin yung konsepto ng nation state sa konsepto ng nation. Diba? Pag sinabi nating state, yun yung define natin last time with having 4 elements. Pagka naman sinabi nating nation, it is a group of people who are culturally bound with each other. And then, pag pinaghalo mo naman yung nation state, pag nation state naman ang pag-uusapan, paghahaluin mo yung definition ng nation at saka yung definition ng state in order for you to form a nation state. So, imagine a nation state as ang isang bilog, parang isang bilog siya. Sa loob ng bilog, umiikot yung political system, geographic system, and cultural systems. Confined siya into a single territory. And then, ito yung mga characteristics ng nation state. Bounded by physical boundaries. And then, merong government. And the fact that the people believe they are connected to each other and must have a shared natural culture. Pag sinabing natural culture, covered dun yung language, history, holidays, and education. 'Di ba? Kaya tayo meron tayong Independence Day. Yung Independence Day, hindi naman siya dineclare lang ng government dahil gusto lang nilang i-declare o gusto nilang mawalan ng pasok. Hindi. Ang rationale behind the Declaration of Independence Day ay para magkaroon tayo ng unique feeling with each other na nung time na yun, tuwing June 12, i-commemorate natin or aalalahanin natin kung ano yung pakiramdam na maging isang Pilipino na maging malaya sa sumakop sa ating mga dayuhan. And then, kung ililipat daw natin sa graphic organizer, ang nation state ay mapapalibutan ng 3 bilog. Yung 3 bilog na yun, ano-ano yun? Desire for sovereignty, territory, and unified by people. So, ang pagmumulan daw ay desire of the people for sovereignty. At yung desire for sovereignty, mag-uugad siya sa magkakaroon ng pagkakaisa ang mga tao. It unifies people. And then, pagka nagkaroon ng unity, ano ang mangyayari? Magkakaroon ng sariling territory. Kumbaga, madedefine kung sino yung papasok dun sa state. Dahil kung sino yung may parehas na desire for sovereignty, yun yung magde-define kung hanggang saan ang nasasakupan ng kanilang territory. Okay, so gaya ng binanggit ko kanina, pag sinabi nating nation state, it is a combination of 2 terms, the nation and the state. So, unahin muna natin ay state. So, ang state, in its broadest term, is the body of government. So, lahat ng batas, lahat ng government officials, and their titles, and their responsibilities and duties, yung physical boundaries ng isang bansa, yun yung kumakatawan sa state. And then, pagdating sa nation, dito naman ang pag-uusapan natin ay mga tao. Pag sinabing nation, nagkakaroon ng nation kung ang mga tao ay merong shared belief that the people inside the country are connected to each other. So, halimbawa, Pilipino ka, tapos nag-OFW ka, yung pakiramdam mo ng pagiging Pilipino ay hindi nawawala kahit nasa ibang bansa ka. O, halimbawa, nag-migrate ka sa Amerika, yung pakiramdam mo ng pagiging Pilipino ay nandyan pa rin kahit ilang taong ka nang nakatira sa Amerika. So, yun. Ang tawag doon ay nationalism, the idea that people of a nation are connected to each other. So, the thing that connects people dun sa pinag-usapan natin na concept of nation is called natural culture. Ano-ano yung mga pwedeng kasama sa natural culture? Language, history, holidays, and education. So, gaya dito sa atin, yung language natin is Tagalog, Filipino, pwedeng Bisaya. And then history, na sinakop tayo ng mga Kastila for 333 years. Kumbaga, yung ituturo mo dito sa Luzon, ituturo mo sa Visayas at sa Mindanao. Kumbaga, yun yung doon tayo nagkakaisa sa iisang history. And then holidays, yung mga national holidays natin na dinideclare, ito yun, para magkaroon tayo ng feeling of yung identity natin na yung certain holiday ay dito lang sineselebrate sa bansa natin. And then education. Each country has their own system of education. Hindi lahat pare-parehas ng pag-i-implement ng kung paano nila tuturuan yung kanilang youth. Ayan. So, sa page 3, bago raw magkaroon ng nation states, nagkaroon muna ng kingdoms, empires, and city-states. And out of those, nag-evolve ang nation states. So, nung 15th century sa Italy, ano muna yung 15th century? Yung 15th century, di ba ang century ay every 100 years. So, ang 15th century is 1401 to 1500s. So, di ba nga, yung first century is from year 1 after the birth of Christ to 100. And then yung second century, from 101 to 200 AD. And then yung third century, from 201 to 300 AD and so on. So, mai-imagine nyo gaano kalapit sa atin ang 19th century at gaano naman kalayo ang 15th century. Yan, every 100 years. So, yan. Noong 15th century sa Italy, ang independent body of government daw was centered on a city and they were called city-states. Yung city-states ay based sa city but their power may extend beyond the city limits and could change depending on other powers and resources. So, dati kasi, maliliit lang yung kayang sakupin. Siguro because of the technology, mas mahirap i-control kung masyadong malaki yan. Ngayon, madali na kasi marami nang yung mga means of communication. So, yun. Yung city-states, nag-evolve siya into nation-states and so with kingdoms and empires. So, with regard to the history of the nation-state, iba-iba ang views ng mga historians. Yung una, according to the historian Benedict Anderson, in his book Imagine Communities, sinabi niya na nation-states began because of print media, such as newspapers. Kasi daw, kung iisa yung binabasa nyo, iisa yung language na ginagamit nyo, kumbaga yung newspaper na binabasa nila ang nakakapag-bind doon sa mga tao nagbabasa doon sa newspaper na yon. So, ibig sabihin, they share a common language. And that drive them to form national identities. Yung second naman na sinasabing pinagmulan daw ng nation-states ay because of the map-making technologies. Nung natuto raw na gumawa ng mapa ang mga sinaunang tao, anong nangyari? Naintindihan na nila yung mga boundaries and borders. At dahil doon, nagkaroon ng division sa kung sino ang kasama kanino. So, identifying nation-state is somewhat a complex topic. Bakit? Hindi common na kapag bigay tayo ng definition na ito yung nation-state, ma-identify na natin kaagad kung sino yung mga bansa o mga lugar na papasok as nation-states. Kung ang bansa daw ay may national culture which is ethnically based, yun yung madaling i-determine. Kasi madaling makita Gaya ng Albania, South Korea, Iceland, Japan, and Portugal. Yung national culture nila ay ethnically based. So, galing sa ethnicity nila. Galing talaga sa kanilang mga ninuno. And then there are other countries with different ethnicity but with the same history, heroes, and customs. So, magkakaiba yung kanilang etnisidad. Pero dahil may pinagdaanan silang iisang history, pareha sila ng naitatratong mga heroes, at iisa yung customs na ginagamit nila, naging binded sila like Switzerland, China, and India. And then sabi dito, the nation-state is the most common system in today's world. But that may not always be the case. Gaya ngayon, dahil sa social media, sa internet, and international businesses, or sa pagpasok ng globalization, pwedeng maiba yung nation-states, or pwedeng may mag-evolve pa na kung paano mayu-unite yung mga tao. So, paano daw nagkakaroon ng nation-state? Una muna, kailangan nila ng legitimacy. And then after magkaroon ng legitimacy, kailangan naman mapangalagaan nila yung kanilang naitatag. So, kailangan ng stability. Una muna, punta tayo sa legitimacy. How do we define legitimacy? Legitimacy refers to the moral authority that a group has to rule. So, yung grupo na yun daw, ano ang meron sila? Meron sila dapat moral authority. Para ano? Para makapag-rule. If you have no moral authority, pero nagro-rule ka, you cannot be considered as a legitimate ruler. Pero kung merong moral authority at ikaw ay ruler, you can be considered as a legitimate ruler. Next, stability. Stability refers to the ability of a government to get a message without different groups wanting to break it apart. Ito yung ability ng gobyerno na pasunurin yung mga tao kung ano ang gusto nilang mangyari, na walang hihiwalay, na walang tumitiwalag. So, kung susundan daw ang history, para makapagtatag ng isang state, ang unang mga parang naging trend is yung king, nandyan yung queen, he declares or she declares himself as the ruler. So, kung nanonood kayo ng Game of Thrones, di ba si Daenerys, kasama niya yung army niya, pupunta siya sa iba't ibang lugar, and then after nila mapatalsik yung current ruler ng lugar na yon, or after nila matalo yung army nila, tatayo si Daenerys sa gitna at sasabihin niya na siya yung bagong pinuno ng lugar na yun. So, yun yung naging trend nung unang panahon. And then, nag-evolve na dumaan ang panahon, ang susunod na naging trend naman is who has some sort of political power. So, kung sino yung religious leader, kumbaga, siya yung namumuno dun sa komunidad na yun. Like, for example, the Pope. So, yung mga lugar na sinakop ng Catholicism, sumusunod sila dun sa Pope. And then, yung ngayon naman, lahat na halos ng country ay sumusunod sa rule of law. So, after mo magkaroon ng legitimacy, tapos naging stable naman yung government mo, kailangan meron ka ring sovereignty. Ano yung sovereignty? According to Stroud's Judicial Dictionary, sovereignty is defined as a government which exercises de facto administrative control over a country and is not subordinate to any other government in that country or a foreign state. So, kung hihimay-himayin raw natin, ang term na sovereignty, ito yung merong isang gobyerno. Tapos yung gobyerno na yon, nag-exercise siya ng de facto administrative control over a country. Tapos, bukod sa nag-exercise siya ng de facto administrative control over his country, siya din at the same time ay hindi subordinate ng kahit na anong gobyerno. Na pwedeng yung gobyerno na magsasubordinate sa kanya ay within the country or outside the country. So, independent of external control yung pangalawa. Yung una, may control siya over the people sa loob ng kanyang nasasakupan. And then, yung control na yon ay dapat exclusive lang sa kanya. Hindi pwedeng may iba pang gobyernong pwedeng mag-control sa kanila or pwedeng may iba pang country na makialam sa kanila. So, nabanggit sa definition is de facto administrative control or de facto sovereignty. So, may dalawang uri ng sovereignty, de facto sovereignty and de jure sovereignty. Nakalagay dito ang de jure, unahin muna natin yung de jure sovereignty. Yan eh. Nakalagay dito ang de jure sovereignty ay having independent legal rule over one's own country. Yan. The government of that particular country has the ability to work for its citizens. It is also called legal sovereignty. So kung pag-uusapan raw ang de jure sovereignty, it is simply determined by looking at the government internally and its relationship with its citizenry. So yung loob lang ang titignan natin sa de jure sovereignty. Kung siya ba ay may control sa government internally at yung mga tao ba ay napapasunod niya. Tapos, punta naman tayo sa de facto sovereignty. Ang de facto sovereignty is whether or not the legal authority or the de jure sovereignty actually exists. Kumbaga, masasabi mo bang yung de jure sovereignty ay talagang nag-e-exist? So, paano mo malalaman? Number 1, empowered by the citizenry and has the public's respect. Number 2, can trade and control markets. And number 3, enforce its laws and carry out all the duties of a functioning state. So, kung titignan bawa sa point of view ng ibang bansa, kung makikita nila na yung 1, 2, 3 ay kasama, ay nasa iyo, as a nation state, you can be considered as a state as having de facto sovereignty. Pwedeng magkaroon ng de jure sovereignty pero wala siyang de facto sovereignty. Halimbawa, kine-claim mo na ikaw ay sovereign. Oo, naniniwala sa iyo yung mga tao mo, sumusunod sa iyo yung mga tao. Pero pagdating sa ibang bansa, hindi ka nila ma-recognize as such, as a sovereign country. Bakit? Halimbawa, gaya nung panahon ni Cory, si Marcos ang recognized na presidente noon. Tapos biglang na-overthrow nila, nagkaroon sila ng sariling gobyerno, nagkaroon siya ng sariling followers within the Philippines. Pero yung mga tao sa ibang bansa, hindi nila makita na si Cory, na yung panibagong leader ng Pilipinas noon, right after the EDSA Revolution. And then ito yung importante. Generally, if a country has both de jure and de facto sovereignty, then its claims of sovereignty will be recognized. Tapos, you should not be confused with de jure sovereignty with de jure government and de facto sovereignty with de facto government. Sa de jure government, ang pinag-uusapan ay legitimacy ng government. Ay, pag sinabing de jure or de facto government, ang pinag-uusapan ay yung legitimacy ng government. Unahin muna natin yung de facto. Pag sinabing de facto, nariyan kayo, nag-e-exist kayo. Pero, may basihan ba na batas yung pag-exist ninyo? Sa de jure government, nag-e-exist sila and at the same time, may basihan na batas yung pag-e-exist nila. Halimbawa, yung panahon ni Duterte, yung presidency ni Duterte o yung government ni Duterte ngayon is a de jure government. Bakit? Nag-e-exist siya and at the same time, itinalaga siya through election. And then, nag-exercise siya ng power within the Philippines and recognize siya with other countries. Sa de facto government, just like the example, Cory Aquino administration, nung inagaw niya yung kapangyarihan kay Marcos, siya, yung government niya is considered as a de facto government. Bakit? Nandyan ka, nag-e-exist ka, pero yung legal basis mo as a government ay hindi nag-e-exist. So, hindi ka backed up by legality. Kasi nga, inagaw mo lang, you only overthrow the regime of Marcos. That's why, hindi rin siya recognized outside the country. Pero, maraming sumusunod sa kanya, yung mga sumama sa EDSA. So, yun. Another example of de jure and de facto government. Yung time sa history natin, sa KKK. Yung KKK, maraming mga followers. May sariling government and may sarili siyang leader. Pero, yung kanilang government ay hindi recognized ng other states. Bakit? Kasi noon, di ba, colony tayo ng Spain. Kumbaga, tayo ay recognized as a colony of Spain at kung ano yung naitalaga nilang kind of government sa atin, yun yung ating de jure government. Ano? Yan. So, do not be confused with de jure government, de jure sovereignty, de facto government, de facto sovereignty. So, dito sa page 5, sinabi lang na yung sovereignty, kung absolute sovereignty naman ang pagaganahin, hindi na rin masyadong maganda. Bakit? Wala na tayo ng communication with other nations. Halimbawa, nagkaisa tayo as a nation na kailangan patayin na lahat ng mga magnanakaw. Di ba parang mali naman yun? Nagnakaw lang ay papatayin na. I cannot equate property with life. Hindi pwedeng ang katumbas ng property ay buhay na. So, yun, parang hindi siya acceptable. So, kung pagaganahin natin yun sa bansa natin at hindi tayo pakikialaman ng ibang bansa, kumbaga wala tayong communication with other states, parang hindi na rin maganda. Just like in North Korea, diba? And then, pagka naman raw sobrang mawawala naman yung sovereignty and there is too much interdependence with other states, pangit rin naman. Kasi lahat na lang ng gagawin natin as a nation, napapakialaman nila or meron silang say. Next is failed states. Paano raw nagkakaroon ng failed states? Failed state is a state that is number 1, unable to maintain and project its authority over its population and its territory. And then number 2, they cannot protect their international boundaries. So yung una, unable to maintain and project its authority. So yung una masaklap. Sa sarili mo pa lang na nasasakupan, hindi mo na kayang protektahan yung pagiging gobyerno mo. And sa pangalawa, pagka tayo ay nasakop ng ibang bansa, cannot protect international boundaries, just like what is happening in China. Sinasakop nila yung iba nating mga territories. So, how does nation states develop daw? Sa Western Europe, nagsimula siya sa feudalism. Ano yung feudalism? Yung mga may-ari ng malalaking lupa, kumbaga sila yung nagiging head ng state. And then, ano ang ginagawa nila? Yung mga taong gustong magsilbi sa kanila, kailangan, or mabigyan nila ng benefits, kailangan maging magsasaka nila or maging tagagawa nila dun sa lupa na yun. Yun yung feudalism. And then, anong sumunod? Nawala yung feudalism, ang noong pumalit, monarchy. Developing nation states were ruled by monarchs. So, out of monarchy, nag-evolve naman daw yung nagkaroon na ng yung mga monarchs parang habang tumatagal, ina-arrange nila yung kanilang government. Nagkaroon na ng centralized government, nag-establish ng national bureaucracy, gumawa sila ng mga batas, and then nagkaroon ng consolidated military power, and then last yung regularized taxes and economy. So, yung 5 nabanggit na yon, nung nagkaroon noon, yung mga lugar na dati ay feudalism, na naging monarchy, unti-unti nag-develop naman siya daw into nation states. So, itong nationalism in Europe and unification of Germany ay strong examples of nationalism. So, kaya basahin nyo to, para makita nyo yung ano ba talaga yung parang picture of strong nationalism. Next is Max Weber's theory of the modern state. So, maraming theorists about state and its origin and its status. So, isa sa mga sikat ay si Max Weber. Si Max Weber was a German economist, philosopher, and sociologist who widely wrote on human societies and institutions. So, ano daw yung definition ni Max Weber ng state? First, it is an independent legal system of administration. And secondly, it was a symbol of collective action and community. So, yung una, yun yung merong government, merong sovereignty, and merong territory. Tapos, sa pangalawa, hindi lang basta population, according to Max Weber. Binigyan niya ng sociological touch yung kanyang definition. Sinabi niya na collective action of the community. Yung mga tao ay merong collective action. Kumbaga nagkakaisa sila. Hindi yung basta sinakop lang sila sa ilalim sila sa isang government. Hindi. Kumbaga nagkakaisa sila for them to form a government. So a modern state, according to Max Weber, is defined in terms of means. And one of the means in particular is violence. So, violence or the use of physical force within a given territory. So, anong nangyayari? Gumagamit ng violence para makontrol mo yung mga tao na nasa loob ng state. Ayan, sabi niya, the modern state could not only raise armies, so hindi lang daw yung mga gumagamit sila ng mga armies, kundi they demand loyalty from its citizens. And also, kung yung mga loyal na citizens ay makakapagbuo sila ng agreement na paparusahan nila kung sino man yung mga lalabag sa batas. And that is where violence comes in. So, ang gobyerno raw, according to Max Weber, ang tagapagpatupad ng monopoly of violence. So, yun nga, yung parang nagiging controlling mechanism niya is violence. In order for the government to achieve a monopoly in violence, kailangan daw, syempre, legitimate yung government. So, ano-ano yung characteristics of legitimacy? Kailangan merong constitution, and also, kailangan yung mga tao ay meron ring democratic participation, or they are allowed to participate democratically. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga tao, kung ano man yung ipaparusa sa mga citizens as a whole, kailangan may say sila, o kailangan makakapag-lobby sila, or meron silang representative dun sa government para makapagsabi na, ito yung gamitin natin na parusa sa mga magnanakaw, ito yung gamitin natin parusa sa mga gagawa ng krimen, yung mga gano'n. And then, yung constitution, gagamitin naman nila in order for them to have legal authority. Kumbaga, mabibigay ng constitution kung bakit sila at paano sila nandyan, yung government. So, yung legal authority daw na binanggit ni Max Weber, yun yung nagdi-distinguish sa kanyang theory with all the other theories. Kasi halimbawa, yung kay Karl Marx na theory ng state, ang sabi niya, out of wealth, Kumbaga, ang tao sumusunod lang sa kung sino yung wealthy, kung sino yung may pera. And then, so, ibig sabihin yung mga bourgeois. So, ibig sabihin, according to Karl Marx, yung mga Borges, sila yung may authority to rule. Pagdating kay Max Weber, kung sino yung may legal authority talaga, kung sino yung ginrant ng mga tao na magkaroon ng authority to rule them, to rule over them. Yun. And then last, Max Weber's definition of the modern state really relies on three components. Number 1 is violence, number 2 is territoriality, and number 3 is legitimacy. So kung susumahin mo raw, itong tatlong ito ang dapat makita mo sa isang state. Merong violence, merong territoriality, and merong legitimacy. So according to Max Weber, yung origin of the state daw, or yung states, ay formed out of necessity and innovations. Dahil ang tao raw ay nangangailangan ng better way to manage their society, nagtayo sila ng modern state. Ano ang nasa loob ng modern state? Merong bureaucracy, merong capitalism. Kumbaga, yung bureaucracy, in order for them to have a structure, kung paano sino ang magro-rule, sino ang magro-rule sa ganitong lugar, ano hahatiin ba natin, i-divide ba natin according to location, i-divide ba natin according to population, meron ba tayong tungkol sa finance, meron ba tayong tungkol sa agriculture o sa iba't ibang sectors. And then they also created capitalism para na sa gayon yung kanilang economy ay iikot. So yun yung Max Weber's theory of the modern state. So that would be all. For tomorrow we go to chapter 5. Thank you.